Hello, dear learners. Welcome back. What do you think we are going to discuss today? We are going to talk about our weekend. Why do you think talking about our weekend is important? It is important because it is a topic of conversation in offices, in schools, in universities, at a party, at just a social gathering, or anywhere else. You could discuss your weekend with someone you know very well or with someone you hardly know. Today we are going to understand how to compartmentalize our weekend. Compartmentalize sounds like a complicated word, but it's just a way of saying we are going to separate our activities of the weekend into different categories. You will be able to explain your weekend easily. But for this, you will have to practice a few weekends. Every Friday or every Thursday evening, you practice about what you're going to do on the coming weekend. And every Sunday evening, you collect your thoughts about what has happened or what you have done over the weekend. Firstly, let us understand what is a weekend. I'm sure all of you know. A weekend comprises of a Friday evening, the whole of Saturday, and the whole of Sunday. So it's about 2.25 days. In some country, it is a 2.5 day weekend. Sometimes you have a Friday off along with a Saturday and Sunday, or you may have a Monday off due to some festival or an event or a Founders' Day. It could be for any reason. So when you have more than 2 days, 2 full days, it becomes a long weekend. Sometimes we plan small, short vacations on weekends. We go to meet our grandparents or our parents or relatives, or we just go for a holiday. Today we are going to discuss the coming weekend. We are going to understand how to explain our plans for the weekend which is yet to come. That means we are going to talk about something which is going to happen. So you will remember you have to use the future tense. What are the questions that you could ask or someone could ask of you? Let's practice that. What are you planning for the weekend? Do you have any plans for the weekend? What are you intending to do on the weekend? You can say what are you, or you can just shorten it by saying what are you planning to do on the weekend? Do you have any plans for the weekend? So you can frame such questions and ask someone, or if someone asks you such questions, you should have your answers ready. So every Thursday, like I said, in the evening, just plan out in your mind and compartmentalize. That means categorize your activities for the weekend. It will make things much simpler for you. Let's start with Friday evening. After office or after school or university or whichever workplace you go to usually through the week. You can say, firstly, what are you going to do in terms of resting? We all want to take some extra rest on a weekend. So you can say, oh, this week has been too exhausting, so I plan to do nothing on Friday. I want to have a quiet evening. Or maybe you like to go out on Fridays. So Friday evening you can say, I'm planning to party with my friends. I'm planning to catch a movie with my friends. I'm planning to go out with my friends. You can say so many things, but make sure that you know them. Why am I asking you to practice? For a few weeks, just keep asking yourself these questions and then have a lot of answers ready. Categorize your activities, and when you are going to speak to someone, you will be very confident because more or less we do similar things on our weekends. So Friday we've covered. Next we'll cover Saturday and Sunday together. You can choose from whatever we discussed right now and decide what you will do on Saturday or Sunday. How you want to put it, how you want to compartmentalize it. So one thing we do is, I told you, sleep. So you can say, I plan to sleep late or I plan to sleep in. That means I will wake up late, later than usual. You could wake up around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or maybe even post noon. That means around 2 p.m. So then what is the next thing you talk about is talking about your food. Lunch is a meal which is a combination of lunch and breakfast. When you don't want to have a full breakfast, then you just combine it with lunch and you call it a brunch. So it's brunch taken from breakfast and lunch. It's usually a heavy meal which makes up for the lost breakfast, and people usually do a Sunday brunch. It's a very well-known term in the hotels too or restaurants too. So you can say I plan to catch brunch with my friend, or I plan to have a lazy brunch at home. So this is about the food. You can say I plan to help my mother with the cooking. So this can be about food. You can just cover a few more things, whatever you plan to do. Next thing you can do are the chores. That means what are the chores or chores that you plan to do? You plan to help your mother, like I said. Then you can also plan to help your father. You can plan to help your father mow the lawn, or you can plan to help your father on the fields. If your father is a farmer, you say I plan to help my father in the fields. I plan to help my mother clean the house, or I plan to help my father clean his workshop. So just understand what work that you usually do, or what is the work that you would like to do over the weekend. Again, we've put the category. First was sleeping, waking up. Second was food. Third is your tasks. The other thing we do, or another thing we do, is shopping. A lot of us go and catch up on our grocery shopping, or we want to buy a pair of shoes, or we need some clothes. Maybe the winter is coming, we need to buy a jacket. So we catch up on shopping. That could be another compartment. So you can talk about shopping. What is the kind of shopping you want to do? I plan to go and buy myself a pair of sneakers. Or you can say, my sneakers are worn out, so I plan to get myself a new pair. You can say, the winter is setting in, so I plan to go and buy a jacket. So this is what you talk about shopping. Again, I said compartmentalize. So it will make it much easier for you to cover the entire weekend, and you'll have a lot to say. The other thing is entertainment, right? We all like to have some kind of entertainment. Why do we have entertainment? Because it relaxes us. And sometimes it's exciting, it's fun. It's a reason to be with friends and family. So you can identify what are the things that you're going to do for entertainment. You can say, I plan to watch a movie with my friend. I plan to binge watch TV. Binge watch is when you watch something back to back for many hours. You might want to finish your favorite serial on some OTT platform, or you want to watch the movie of your favorite actor, maybe not one, but 4 movies of his, because you like to watch those movies. So binge watching is another thing we all end up doing on weekends. You want to read a book, or you want to finish a book you started last weekend. So you can say, I plan to finish the book I started last weekend. So that's another activity. One more activity could be some kind of a sport. You might want to go to the gym. Plan to go to the gym. You would have time to catch up with your friends and family. So you can say, I plan to visit my parents. I'm planning on visiting my grandparents. I'm planning to catch up with my friends. I think I'm going to spend time with my friends. So keep changing these words and phrases, and then you'll have a lot to say. Sit down right now, if it's a Thursday, and plan your weekend activities. Plan how you're going to talk about your weekend. Compartmentalize. I hope you'll practice talking about the weekend which is going to come. In my next video, we will talk about the weekend which has just passed. So people on Monday would usually discuss what you did on the last weekend. So I will continue this video in part 2 for you to understand what is the difference when we discuss the weekend which is going to come and the weekend which has just gone by. Carry on practicing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.